Okay, so when we're beginning, you're supposed to pick your dichotomy. Mine's was attraction and repulsion. I know I heard that Shadi wasn't like doing two complete opposites this year.
We are.
Oh, you are? Complete opposites? Okay. But yeah, I chose attraction and repulsion. I wanted the attraction to bring everything towards like the center. That's what I have on my drawing. Everything is kind of stemming from this, and then the repulsion, I tried to show it on this side where everything is more like linear fashion and things are separating away from each other. What Shadi was saying, that you also want to use like a sense of scale when you're using the sticks. On Omar, his model, he has smaller scale and he also has larger scale, and it just gives a nice sense of scale of when you're moving through the model and through the drawing. Also the negative space that she was saying, it helps. I will try.
So what are you doing now?
I'm demonstrating on how to bring up a fold and create a space inside the Drawdle itself.
So you guys can ask questions as he's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just like project one, I think you need to make rules for yourself. If the stick is passing a solid versus passing a single line or a dashed line, something has to happen, right? So you kind of have to define those rules for yourself. What happens to it? Does the stick begin to break through? Does it move down? Does your graphic begin to fold up and across, or does it fold down and then under, right? Or do you carve away completely?
And when you're cutting, you can make the spaces by, when you're gonna fold, you have to score and not cut completely through, because if you cut completely through, you won't be able to fold. So you just do like a light score, and then this one's gonna fold down, I think.
So lightly score, just because the paper is so thin, don't have heavy hand, just lightly.
And the way I did it, I chose which size stick I wanted, and I measured it with the stick itself. You could also measure and then do it with the, which is probably safer, but.
Measuring with a stick will save you time, because it's actually, you're measuring that width exactly.
But it allows you to make the fold itself.
So when you're folding it back, you want to actually turn the paper around and score it on the other side and then fold the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting a nice 90 degrees turn.
And that's how you can begin to create spaces within the Drawdle. You want me to actually like glue it and everything?
Yes.
Do we have glue? It's a nice little rig. But I'll go more into that. Oh, I'm sorry. What the heck?
So Omar, I know this was yours. You want to talk to them about, maybe explain a little bit your idea behind this Drawdle?
So right now I'm just cutting out some negative space, in which I believe will help complement.
So again, he's carving away a piece so that it reveals some negative space. Again, you want to think about ideas of balance. You want to think about ideas of proportion. You don't want everything to just be all ground, but you also need figure and ground to balance them out. Okay, so while you do that, I'm going to turn the camera to Omar. So, Omar, you want to?
Okay. I can lower it down if you want. Okay. So for my dichotomy, I had love and hate. Let's see, go here. So for my explanation, love for me was something confusing. It's not something like straightforward. Whereas hate is just something straight, like you hate someone. But yet love and hate are still connected into one. Because hate can become love, love can be hate. So that's why here is love is all confusion. You have so many volumes, spaces, but yet here in hate, if I had my original one, you would be able to see like that more. But You can see the connection with the sticks, also how it connects from here and it ends up going here. And you can see the flow of it going in a cycle.
Would you mind talking about the three love,
So as
hate,
I
and
said,
in between?
and as I said, there's love, hate, and then in between. So for the other three ones, you just demonstrate or show each of those three. This one's hate, and this one's in between. So this one is hate. Because as you can tell, this piece belongs right here. And then the in between is this one right here. That's why you have to make a lot of copies of your original, because you might mess up or you're gonna want to do different choices for your in between and your love. That's that. Between.
That was the in between?
In between, yep. And this one is the love.
So can you explain about your in between just a little bit more, elaborate on that?
So for here, you can also, for us, we wrote
Your concept.
concept on it, where you can, as you can see, I lifted it up to symbolize that this is like a connection. Whereas also you see, and in between this one is like the connection between love and hate. Where I also demonstrated this higher up, showing that they connect with each other, and so.
It wasn't a literal translation from this to this. You also changed up what was from
Mhm.
here to there, right?
Mhm.
So you added more details.
Oh yeah, because for this was like a bigger one, so you want to use like big sticks, small. But for the small ones, you can also add more smaller sticks and detail. Like can we use micro?
Mm-hmm.
You can also add micro. Unfortunately, I did not use micro. But if we had Ulysses, you would be able to tell the details on what you could add it. Did you use
The
micro?
Ulysses one.
I don't think so. No, I didn't bring one. Mine's were all destroyed.
Right.
But for the small ones, you can add a little bit more detail to it, to give it more meaning to it. Since it's more smaller, you can add more stuff to it. Whereas the big ones, you can use bigger sticks to it.
And how did you, when you did your graphic,
Mhm.
how did your the text layer move on your graphic? What was the idea behind the text?
So as I said, love is confusing for me. So there is a lot of different orientation or directions where the lines would travel through on the left side. But where when you got in the between, it got more, how do you say it? More clearer. Like it will go more clarify, where it will go into the transition of the hate, where it's not as you would, if you could tell the love, it was just like everywhere, but where hate, it was just straight, like it was like simple, but yet you can see the transition between the love and the hate from the left to the right, and then you have a space in between the two.
Well, how do you explain this?